Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa on this Transformation Tuesday. Talking about transformation of women in today's world with these two amazing empowered women right here. LaPage and Valerie McCaffrey with La Femme and filmmaker and all of the above. How are you ladies?
We're doing great.
Yeah.
It's the show.
We're here, aren't we?
Yeah, you're here, and we're so excited to be honoring you and all the work you've created with La Femme International Film Festival. You know you launched it in 2005. Tell us about the catalyst for when you decided to make this.
Oh my gosh. I was actually sitting at the other festival that's in Utah.
The other one?
The other one, the small little one that they have. And we were, a bunch of girls were producers, writers, directors, we're all sitting at Starbucks. And I said, you know, there's not a lot of films being directed by women here this year, and that's how can that be? You know, there's content being created. So I said, we have to do something. We've got to like change the world. And they're like, yes, let's do it. And I started writing down the names of this potential film festival on a Starbucks little napkin. And I said, here's the name. This is what we should call it. Who's in? And they were like, well, you know, I'm pregnant. Oh, I have a writing assignment. And so they all kind of backed out. And I said, but we've got to do this. And they're like, yes, you do this.
You're so excited. Go for
The
it.
difference between commitment and not committed,
Oh
right?
my gosh. And then I just became the maverick of like, you know, hitting my head against the brick wall trying to break it down.
Well, it's incredible that you have such empowered women like Valerie on your team making this happen. Tell us about the lineup for this year.
Oh my gosh. Well, we've got over 100 films that we are showing through a 4-day time frame in 2 theaters at the Regal Cinemas in downtown LA. We've got a special screening. We're doing kind of a salute empowerment to women in animation. So we've got 2 anime features. One called Megalobox. It's a TV series from Japan. And we're bringing in the producer, Manako Tsuyoshi, from Japan to do the Q&A. Then we've got another animation, which is Makia, When the Flowers Bloom, and that's being sponsored by 11 Arts Animation Studio. We're doing a Q&A with the VP of Paramount Animation, Emily Norwind. Then we've got a Sony special screening with Q&A, which is a sneak preview of The Girl in the Spiderweb, a feature that they're releasing next year. We have a Q&A with the production team for that. So,
What a lineup!
Cool.
oh yeah, we've got special screenings. We've got 5 seminars. We have an opening gala, a closing award ceremony where we honor celebrities who have empowered other women, so women celebrities. It's crazy.
And you know what we've got? The sizzle. Let's take a look.
It's a very nice event.
I've been there with the unmitigated disaster, but they were wonderful learning experiences.
And I truly believe that we are on the threshold of immense change.
And I wanted my film here.
I love the name. But this is one of the, I guess, festivals that I had on my list that I needed to attend.
I have never been to such a supportive film festival. I love La Femme.
It's a wonderful new world, and I'm very, very honored. Right now is the time. You are the one. And if you're looking for a helping hand, it is probably at the end of your own arm. I am Shirley Ralph. I love you just the way you are, and I thank you all for this award tonight. I really do. Thank you.
She broke out in song after that.
An exciting time in history for women.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, such an incredible time, and I just want to say thank you for all your work for the women's empowerment movement.
Yes.
And so for someone out there that's watching this, like, I really have a passion and they want to step into the industry, obviously they want to come to your festival, what other advice would you give them?
Train, because women have to be, no offense, you're the guys, but we have to be better than the guys. We have to be more talented, we have to be more professional, we have to have more education, we have to be better. Because that's the only way that we can actually change the world. And in 2005, when I started this, people said, you'll never get sponsorship. No one will ever come to see this film festival. What? Women only direct romantic comedies. They can't direct action films. So we've come a long way, and it's been an interesting journey.
I have something that I always feel that we're all on this planet together. And I do feel like it shouldn't be men against the women or women against the men. I think it's how to navigate ourselves within the workplace and to be, and to still keep your femininity and don't feel like you have to be, you know, a masculine force, to understand that being a woman is powerful and how you can use your brains and use your feminine, you don't lose your femininity and just keep it grounded.
This is a very interesting topic, and Rob and Valerie specifically, I'd love to know what your take on it. Female performers, right? And embracing their femininity and really owning that and bringing that into a room or into an audition, but navigating the business of that, bringing that same feminine power sometimes can get us into trouble. That's when the lines get blurry. That's when there's 50 shades of gray. How do you think we can best navigate that as performers in the industry?
Well, I think that, and not to be political, but I think that we have to say no. And it's okay to say no. And it's understanding that all of us have to say no, not just a part of us, because then it just opens the gateway to somewhat of the predators that can recognize that there's weakness in the chain. So we all have to say no, and I think then it's a level playing field.
I love that. I completely agree with you. And on the other side of every no is a yes, a very hard yes. And I think that when you're clear about that yes, the no's become very easily, right? They unfold very easily. And so it's that. And I would also say that, just based on science, the things that make women successful and men successful are very similar. I mean, in fact, I would say that they're identical at the end of the day. It's emotional intelligence. It's, to some lesser extent, traditional intelligence. It's resilience. It's grit. It's optimism, right? These are things that man, woman, child, we all share, but they're just expressed a little differently for men and women sometimes. Not always, just sometimes. And so I think at the end of the day, equality is really an appreciation, acknowledgement, and celebration of difference. Right. It's not trying to make everybody the same thing. Right.
That's so beautiful. And that's really speaks to the festival you've created and some of your objectives. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we empower women. It's not about stopping men. It's about one day in the entertainment industry, the guys waking up and saying, what happened? How did all these girls get here? And really helping the women understand that you can have a backbone and say no and say yes, as long as you know who you are and you have your boundaries set. If you walk into an office, this is an opinion business. Everyone's got an opinion. But if you know who you are and what you're selling, your product, your film, then you'll succeed. It may not be at the first go around. It may be the second or third go around, but you can't take no for an answer. You must keep moving forward, and you have to survive. So women have to learn how to be team players, like the guys do. The guys will beat each other up, and then they'll go off and fight against the enemy. Women need to learn that, because if we can empower our own and empower ourselves with knowing who we are, then there's nothing that can stop us, and we can be professionals and mothers and wives and cook and do everything else we have to do.
And clean.
And clean.
I'm going to hire that job.
It's such a good point. And I think, too, at least the men that I know that I would consider stars in whatever arena or industry they're in, there is a very clear recognition that they can only be successful to the extent that the women around them are successful, and that they lift, but that by lifting others, particularly women, they lift themselves.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, I love the point that you made around this sort of being all about creating a sort of healthy, happy, harmonious way of relating to each other.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, even though it seems like it's about genders, it's really about just how to be human.
Yeah, and how to accept other people's power. You know, it's not about just diminishing somebody's power. It's about saying, that's a powerful man or that's a powerful woman, and I want to embrace that power, and that's great, and I can be powerful too. You know, you don't have to belittle yourself to get ahead. You can walk into the room and be as powerful and embrace that power.
What's been the most rewarding aspect of this festival for you?
That I've made so many differences in so many lives of filmmakers. We've touched, I don't know, 10,000 filmmakers in 14 years. It's insane. And a lot of these filmmakers have gone off to do their second films and gotten agency representation and management representation and distribution. And it was our start. I mean, they landed at our festival and we supported them. We're, you know, it's a high-end, glitzy festival, but a mom and pop feel. We have the love that I think a lot of other festivals don't convey, but that's very important for me to convey that love to the filmmakers so that they know that they're embraced.
And what do you love so much about Ms. McCaffrey?
Oh my God. Besides being extremely talented filmmaker in her own right, and really making such a leap going from casting into filmmaking.
Dirty Bomb has had great success.
And it's an amazing,
congratulations, Madrid,
it's an amazing film. And
Cannes.
she's one of our board members now, and she is now taking Dirty Bomb, I don't want to speak for you, but you're taking Dirty Bomb into a feature-length film.
Somebody bring the champagne. Congratulations.
Yeah. No, it's you know, I first came to the festival as a panelist.
Yes.
And then it grew into something more, and of course now we're friends. And I always, you know, love the female, you know, power of making movies. And, you know, there's such a low percentage as directors in the Directors Guild. Like it's like, what, 19% or 9% or something that are.
There's a lot of room to grow.
Lots to improve.
And, you know, you know, I just feel like fear is something that just is not in my realm. And like, I was just raised with a father and a mother that just was like, you can do anything you want if you want to do it, you know. And I think that that's so important to have that basis of like, you know, there is no failure, just keep going, you know, and which is the same thing that Leslie was saying. But I just love, you know, the festival. It's just such a great festival, very supportive of women and really good movies to see. And the panels are great, and the gift bags are just amazing.
Thanks to my sponsors, man. These gift bags are always off the hook.
Oh, they're off the hook. Okay.
Well, maybe we'll go through one of them on Monday's show after the festival. I love a little unboxing.
Tell us where it is and how people can get involved.
Okay. So it's at the Regal Cinemas this year in downtown LA Live. And we start Thursday, October 11th, and go all the way to the 14th. You can go to www.lafemme.org and you can buy your tickets there. We've got a special code for all those people watching.
Yeah, we'll slide that right across.
We'll slide that across. And we've got 5 panels and mixers and special screenings. So if they tap onto it, all the information is there. And I hope they all come and join us because it's such a phenomenal educational element to our festival that they should at least go to that.
Absolutely. Check it out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.